Hope you're having a nice Sunday morning. Listen, when you hear some of the stories out there that are making the news, no doubt, a lot of it lately has just been flat out negative, perhaps only adding to the stress that you already have. This morning, Dr. Adam Heller, he's a behavioral expert, is here with us this morning with tips on how to feel better. Good morning, Dr. Heller.
Good morning, and it's Adam Heller, not Dr. Heller, but you've just made one Jewish mother very happy.
Oh my goodness, apologize for that, but we see you, as our doctor of feeling better. So important to, I think just in general, to feel good. Where do we begin with all the stress?
Well, we live in really tough times. Airplanes being flown into the ground, work, stress, financial, relationships, teams losing in the NCAA tournament. All these things can be really stressful. The thing is, some people are stressed, some people aren't. The people that are have perfected the art of stressing themselves. They think the same old predictable thoughts that lead to the same old predictable feelings, which are stress. And it doesn't have to be that way. I've helped hundreds of people get out of stress, often in one session. I remember TJ, he said he had a dark cloud over his head for 10 years. 2 hours later, he felt great. He still feels great. The key is to learn how to feel good for no good reason at all. Because people who feel good make good choices. People who feel crummy make crummy choices, like flying airplanes into the ground or sabotaging relationships.
Sure, Mr. Heller. So you just said, can you repeat that again? Because I love the way you said it. You said, for no good reason.
Yeah, people, yeah, absolutely. You can learn how to feel good for no good reason at all, just to feel good so that you make better choices. The science has shown that people who are sad or depressed will spend 4 times more for an item than people that aren't.
Interesting. Is stress related to depression? Do you often see that?
Well, they're similar results. They're both results of what we do in our brain. We think thoughts, we look into the future, oh, I'm going to lose my job, she's going to leave me, he's going to leave me. So if I go into the past, things used to be great, the result would be sadness, that's depression. If I go into the future and I see this is going to go wrong, she's going to leave me, he's going to leave me, I'm going to lose my job, then I'm going to feel stress and fear. So it just depends what thoughts we lead, but they both produce negative emotions.
Yeah, and those negative emotions are not good for us. I mean, in general, they're not good for us, and then they begin to affect our body physically, do they not?
They are. I wrote the book on the emotional causes of physical pain. 97% of back and neck and shoulder pain, everything, fibromyalgia, bulging discs, is all caused by repressed negative emotions. It leads to stress, tension, and physical pain.
That is interesting. You have a book with you.
I do. It is called Zero Pain Now, which really is the end of physical pain as we know it. And here's the beautiful thing, by the way. All the stress we're talking about, it doesn't have to be that way. There's 3 really key things to get out of that and get out of it fast. The first is focus only on what you want. So often, if we really pay attention to our thinking, we think about what we don't want. I don't want her to leave. I don't want him to leave. I don't want to lose my job. And the next thing you know, we're feeling stress or depression or sad or whatever it is. So number 1 is focus only on what you want. Pay attention. The other is give yourself the present of being present. Because when we look at the past, oh, it was such a great relationship, we think about the past and how it was good, that leads to sadness or depression. When we put ourselves in the past, already happened. We look into the future, something bad can go wrong, we start to feel anxiety, and it's fear. So if we're right here talking right now, and the third and really most important is and I do this every day, make a gratitude list. 3 things you're grateful for that day. I promise it will bring you moving forward. You'll feel better so much faster.
I remember that one. We touched on that the last time we talked. We chatted. Adam Heller, thank you so much for dropping in. Always a pleasure. Always such useful information. We have a recap of all of this on our website, kwestside.com.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
You bet. We'll be right back with much more right here on Good Morning San Diego. But first, let's check in with Dave Scott.